Welcome to Inside New Albany Football with Coach Cody Stubblefield. I'm Jody Walls.
I'm Brady Brock.
We're with Gumtree Mortgage here in New Albany over on Starling Avenue. We specialize in home financing needs, whether it's a purchase, a refinance, or new construction.
And we're super passionate about trying to help you find the home of your dreams, help you get it financed, just like this one right here.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
This week's Tallahatchie Nutrition Players of the Week, we've got two guys. Both of them play offense and defense, but one's Parker Skinner. Parker had 9 tackles on defense, 2 for a loss and a sack. Xavier here had a pick 6 and 4 tackles. So appreciate both these guys, what they do for the team on offense and defense, but a tremendous performance on defense this past Friday night.
Yeah, great job, guys, protecting the line, holding the line. Let's do it again tomorrow night against Corinth.
What's up, Bulldog Nation? I can't believe it, Coach. Last week of regular season, got Corinth, going to Corinth, a big win last week against Tisch. Thank you for our sponsors who we got.
Yeah, Gumtree Mortgage, Jody Walls, Brady Brock. Those guys have been supporting us for a while, so make sure you go see them for any of your mortgage needs, but we appreciate those guys and thank them for supporting the show.
I know it's been a long season for you, but man, I feel like it's good. I feel like it flew by.
It always does, man. It gets quicker and quicker every year.
I think it takes a long time to get here, and the first weeks might be a little bit slow, but then we get kind of in the meat of the season, and then you blink and it's here towards the end. So it does move fast.
I think we need to go to 16-game regular season. What do you think?
we got a lot of guys to be ready for it, man.
Exactly.
It's been a fun year. Everybody, thank you for supporting us, supporting the Bulldogs. You know, we're lucky here in New Albany, just the support we get. You know, it's not like that everywhere. It's not. I've been around a lot of places. It's not like that.
Well, we talk about our school district. We talk about the community. We're very blessed to live where we do and go to the school district that we're a part of. So I can't thank our supporters and our community enough for what they do for us. Friday night this past week, recognized the Kitchens Field and the 50th anniversary of it was phenomenal. That right there is a fine example of this community coming together and those men that did that. So New Albany's a phenomenal place.
Well, David, take us off.
Yeah, you talking about the 50th celebration. I wanted to remind everybody of those folks that were involved in that. Ben Allen Kitchens, Poodle Kitchens, Joe Keith Robbins, the Criddle family, Kenneth Quinn, and Bobby Calthorpe. And they all had family members represented this past week. So it was great for the community. They had a very good celebration and all that kind of stuff prior to the game. So it was very, very, very nice celebration.
Yeah, I think the only negative I thought was some of them had this like a 12 by 12 plaque that had an old picture of the field and a new picture. I think some of them were fighting over who got to keep that. There were 6 of them, one for each family, but I think some siblings were excited about that though. But again, I can't thank Coach Wheeler enough for what they did, the journalism, those girls that did a tremendous job with that, Melanie, Shannon, Tanya Harrington.
Right.
A lot of people came together to make that a special night for hopefully our community and those families.
I had some of my students, they worked a month on that project. Now,
really good videos out, interviews with some of the family members.
I was excited. Cool. I was worried about getting the audio right, but we was able to get pretty good audio and get the whole ceremony. So that was pretty cool. I was excited about that.
Well, and you have those first-hand accounts from those sons of those men that and questions about whether they did that. There was a need. They stepped up. They did it. But the impact that they made, probably exceeded what they probably thought originally. But It's been a tremendous benefit to this community.
Well, not only that, we take care of Tishomingo County 52-21.
Yeah, I played well on all 3 phases of the game. I felt like offensively we didn't punt until late. Defensively, had some touchdowns where we were right there, just didn't quite make the play. But we're sound a lot of the night. I think our defense has continued to get better and better, and we're playing, I think, our best football right now, and that's exactly what you want. So we're really pleased with it. Our kicking game, it's still been phenomenal with Grayson and Caleb George and AJ Kerber. Those guys are continuing to do a good job. Some things we got to clean up on all 3 phases, but we're pretty good on all 3 phases at the same time.
Braden had a really good game again this week. 10 out of 16 for 156 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Well, teams are trying to make it hard on Braden, and they're doing that by loading the box, bringing pressure, and trying to play man coverage. It's what North Pontotoc did. It's what Tisch did. This week, we're challenging Braden when that happens. You got to get the ball out quick.
Right.
Sometimes, and it's a challenge of Braden, but also receivers. You've got to run routes to a spot, and the ball's got to be gone on time before they ever break a lot of times because of the pressure. So it's challenging, but you saw us be successful at it a good bit. The good thing for that is if we do throw and catch it, a lot of times those lead to touchdowns. So, a tough task, but we certainly got the quarterback and the receivers to do it.
He's 120 for 190 for 2,157 yards, 63% completion rate, 24 touchdowns, still 1 interception on the year.
Some of those stats are really eye-opening, but it just speaks to what Braden's been able to do for us. We talk about Braden a lot, but phenomenal young man, phenomenal quarterback, is a very good leader for us. We've huddled a little bit this year, and we do no huddle as well. But when we huddle, it gives Braden a chance to sit there and talk to those guys, make sure they're exactly what they're doing, and it gives him a chance to lead out there on the field because he puts a lot of time with coaches, knowing the offense, doing some things, film study. So when we get the huddle, it gives him a chance to kind of communicate some of those things, and that's been beneficial for us as well.
And the numbers this week's a little skewed because the defense did so well, special teams did so well. We had short side of the field a lot.
Yeah, I think it was one of our shorter, our least yards total of offense, and we scored 52 points. Had a pick six, had a field goal, but our starting position was near midfield a lot of the night, and so scored 52 points, but just had 300 something yards offense or right just below it. Somewhere was one of our lowest nights of production as far as total yards.
Yeah, Kylan, 8 carries, 97 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's 58 yards from 1,000-yard rushing for the season, so awesome job for him.
Well, I think Kylan has surprised a lot of people. We've seen what he can do, the cuts he can make, the vision he has, the quick burst that he can show. But then it's been a year where he's got to put that into practice and into play, and other people have gotten to see that. So extremely excited about the seasons he's had. He's done a great job, a lot of touchdowns. The offensive line is playing better and better, opening up some of those things. But extremely excited that we get to give the ball to him and he can make big plays happen. So,
and as a DC, you play in New Albany. I mean, you got to protect against Braden, but you better have some guys in that box because if he gets that second level, he's usually he's breaking it on.
Well, we talk a little bit about Knox being a little undersized. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but right in front of him, there's some really good size with Emmanuel Tucker, Sam Morton, Isaac Anderson, all those guys. Carter Bull's a sophomore, be 6'4", 285 pounds at right tackle. Then you've got Denver that's right there in the middle too. So a lot of size, a lot of potential to move in those guys, and that's what we talk about with those guys. Your job is to move people. You have to reset the line of scrimmage and have to push the defense back. When they do that, it makes it a little bit easier for Knox and Braden. So.
You had a couple other guys carrying the ball this week too. Carson Isom and Aiden Burke got some carries this week as well.
Yeah, 2 young guys. Aiden Burke is a 9th grader. He's been with us all year. Done a tremendous job. He's playing running back a little bit more by default. Long term, probably put him at a slot receiver. But he's a guy that can do both. In our spread offense, we call one of those slots the A back because we can move him in the backfield, leave him out wide. That's something that we see him doing longer term. But it shows great burst. Has got really good speed and athleticism. Can catch the ball really well. So he brings a lot to the table. Carson Isom is a kid that we've watched for a while in junior high now. Strong kid, has a good burst, hits the hole well, and just athletic in there. So 2 young guys that we're really excited about for down the road. Knox is there. Knox is a junior. He's coming back. But next year, you've got 3 more athletes right there together again.
Cam Ray, 4 catches for 77 yards, a couple of touchdowns as well. On the year, he's 37 catches for 762 yards, 11 touchdowns. And I talked to him a little bit at the game the other night. He's 84 yards short of my son, Taylor Good's record of 846 catches, or 846 yards back in 2010. So.
Well, and 2010, I was here. Colin was, of course, playing with Taylor and those guys, and Taylor was a tremendous asset to that team. What he could do, running routes the right way, and had good speed and great hands. Tyler Basil was a quarterback, and they had a very good connection and did a tremendous job that season, and that was a huge part of our success. Scored a lot of points that year as well. And like you said, he said records are made to be broken.
That's right.
Cam's right there nipping on his heels. We're excited for him and the success he's had this year. The other point, like you said, is he better do it this year because he's probably going to play quarterback next year. So it's kind of funny there. But proud of the success our combination has had with Cam and Braden right there and what they've been able to do.
I don't think he realized that Taylor was my son, but anyway. Anyway, Trevon Scooter, 3 catches, 20 yards. He's got 25 catches on the year for 331 yards, 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Simpson, 2 catches, 52 yards as well. 23 catches for 526 yards and 5 touchdowns. So a couple other guys there with a lot of yards as well.
Isaiah's been a leader for us all year. He's one of our captains on the team. Does what we ask him to do. Is physical, runs good routes, catches the ball. Trevon Scooter's a guy we got to keep getting the ball to more and more because he's doing really good things with it. Another sophomore, a guy that'll be here for a while. The fortunate thing for us is we've got weapons that can spread the ball out and get to a lot of them. So sometimes it's hard when you got so many of them. But you do what's working. You focus in on what gets first downs, what gets touchdowns. And week to week that changes. There may be a dynamic corner on one side that kind of limits one guy, so you use that other guy a lot more. So, or it may be a team that's good in the secondary and we outmatch them on the defensive line, so we're going to run the ball more that week. Nights like that against Tisch where we can kind of do what we wanted to do, we get to distribute the ball well and let everybody kind of have part of the fun. So,
well, I'll say this: I don't think you'll find many high school teams that have the number of quality guys that you can go to.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, you may have a good corner that you've got on the defense, but you're not going to have 2 corners that usually are 3 corners with our spread offense. You're usually not going to have 4 to be able to cover all of the guys and the weapons that we have.
Well, and those guys that do that, they come up here, they run routes on air, they run pass scale, they do ones-on-ones, they come up here on Saturdays and Sundays some. The amount of passes that they've gotten thrown to them and caught is be a lot, and so that's a credit to how hard they work and what they're doing as well.
Defense this week, Skinner had 9 tackles, 51 total for the year. No, he was one of the players of the game for you this past week.
And he's been a player since he was a freshman, has factored in, just like Braden. Braden was there at the end of the 8th grade year, but for 9 years, Parker Skinner's been a big part of this team.
Nesbitt, 6 tackles versus Tishomingo County. He's got 38 on the year.
Nesbitt's a guy that, like I said, he's gotten better and better. He's a guy that we depend on in the secondary and is doing well.
Evans with 6 tackles against Tisch County. He got 47 on the year.
Yeah, we talk about Landon. He took a year off last year, but he's coming back and he's being a tremendous asset to this football team. Proud of the progression he's shown on the football field, getting more and more physical. He's gotten faster over the last few years. He's a really good athlete for Coach Wheeler for us. Was a part of the state championship team on the golf team this week. So Landon Evans, there's a lot of good things you could talk about there, but just a physical kid for us, a guy that is getting more and more in that football mindset. And sometimes it just takes reps. You miss some time. It takes a little while to get back into that groove.
You can see early in the year the speed of the game, getting adjusted to that.
And I think he's picked it up now, and he's playing really well.
Right. Parker Higgs, 6 tackles against Tisch County for 62, leading the Bulldogs for this season.
Another guy, he's one of those outside linebackers, him with Will Hardy. But Hicks has done really well for us. He can play in space, or he can kind of come into the box. So he's a talented young man, and another baseball guy, but does a really good job for us on the football field as well.
You mentioned Hardy. He had 6 tackles as well and 60 tackles on the season, so he's right behind Hicks.
A sophomore guy that's going to play a lot of football for us. Is another good athlete. So he's on the soccer team. Is a fine young man, but just those 2 guys on the edge. It's really critical that him and Parker Hicks set that edge, do some things, and it's a tough challenge at times. They've got to play in space and cover receivers. Then they got to come down and take on a kick-out block from a guard or a tight end. So their job's tough, but they are critical to the success of that defense.
Boone 5 tackles against Tisch County and 38 on the season.
Jay Boone's been one of our solid guys in the secondary all year. Just does a really good job for us. He's our guy that can come down and make some tackles or stay in coverage. Jay Boone's doing well.
We had 3 guys with 4 tackles. Coleman, he also had an interception this week. Foster, who's got 16 tackles for loss on the season, and Cheese Howard as well. They all had 4 tackles against Tisch.
So when you start talking about Jackson and Foster, they're disruptive. They can do some really good things. They can get in the backfield, cause havoc, and that's what we're going to need against Corinth. But they're doing a really good job anchoring that defensive line. Foster has played phenomenal the second part of the season, specifically. We can talk more and more about his athleticism and his potential because he's through the roof with him. But him and Jackson anchor that defensive line and do a really good job. Who the other guy you talked about was who?
Jackson Howard and Coleman.
Yeah, and then Coleman, does a really good job as well. So Xavier primarily all year has played offense. He plays slot receiver. When we get into a nickel defense, we want to add another DB. It's Xavier. So if you see a team start trying to pass the ball more, a lot of times you'll see him come out there and play one of those corner spots. Had a big pick 6. Excitement for our defense right there. Was the other player of the week for us because of that. But Xavier Coleman is doing a lot of good things for us.
Senior night this past week, we had several groups that were recognized. I know the football team was recognized, the cheerleaders were recognized, the band was recognized, ROTC was recognized, golf and cross country. So a lot of seniors playing their last game for you as far as on the field.
Well, those guys come through this program, and we hope that they look back in 10, 15, 20 years, and they take a lot of pride in what they were able to accomplish. I know I do. It's a special senior group. Some guys that have factored in a long time, but also some guys that just maybe their last year, and they've really shown to made a big impact this year. So a lot of mix there. But guys that have worked hard are going to go out in New Albany history as one of the more successful classes to come through from their freshman year to sophomore or into senior year, and the number of wins they've had on the football field. But I feel like that group has really elevated our program to a different level than it was, 4 or 5 years ago.
You made mention of it a few minutes ago, but we have a new state championship group here in New Albany.
Well, if one's not good enough for you in the fall, you better go ahead and get another one. So our volleyball team won it early in the year, and then Coach Sanderson and the boys golf team won it this past week. So the girls won it last year. The golf team won it last year. The girls golf team got third this year, had a good showing again, but got third. Well, the boys turned around and they decided to go win it. So I'm just extremely proud of Coach Sanderson and those guys that are part of that team. Weather condition was terrible, I believe, down there. It hadn't been the best weather for golf, but they gritted their teeth, got through it, and stayed focused, and came out on top. So that's exciting.
I think the first day they shot 170, and that was about 5 strokes ahead of everybody else that was down there. So great start for them.
Absolutely.
And held on.
I don't want to go play with them. So I saw a picture of Cole Dean teeing off, a video of that, and Coach Kerbo had it. Of course, he plays baseball too. But he stroked that thing, man. He, and then I know as strong as Landon Evans is, he's got to have it. And you got Nick Little and Henson. I think they were finished second, third overall. So those two guys were really playing some really good golf as well.
I hear it got a little intense on the 18th hole. I think was it Corinth that got second? They got it really down close. Back to 2 to 1 stroke on that last hole. So it came down to the 18th hole. I think Henson had to get a good chip and put it out. And won it then, so it was a pretty pressure moment.
Those guys work hard. They play a lot of golf to try to get that. And when you play and you practice and you prepare, and you've got that vision, that dream up top, and then you're able to accomplish it. It's a huge accomplishment for those guys. We're proud of them. But I think Henson and Nick both they play phenomenally, and they had some help from those other guys too. So just a huge credit to our school district, our community, and that golf program. So proud of those guys.
Well, you mentioned Corinth and the golf. We got Corinth coming up this Friday night.
We beat them once. Got to go do it again.
That's right. Might as well. New Albany coming into the game 7-2, 2-1 in the division. Corinth 6-2, 3-0 in the division. So, kind of the playoff spot is going to be determined by the game this week. Right. So win, lose, or draw. So.
We didn't take care of business against North Pontotoc. Got that black eye on the season, but. We're still where we want to be in the sense of we control our own destiny. We're playing that last game of the year, and we've got a chance to win the division. So we're excited about that. Corinth's a good football team. They're talented. They've got a lot of talent out there. They've also got a lot of guys playing both ways. I think the line of scrimmage any week determines the game a lot of times, and so I think we're better than they are there. We've got a good football team. They do too. It's going to be a fun Friday night, or Thursday night, not Friday.
Yeah, I was going to say Thursday night. Fifth-year coach Justin Dye, he's 22 and 29 at Corinth. So Corinth, this is the 73rd meeting between New Albany and Corinth. Corinth leads in that 46 wins, 24 wins for the Bulldogs, 2 ties. And it's the longest running rivalry with Corinth. So we talk about Pontotoc, we talk about Ripley, but Corinth, this is their longest is against New Albany.
Corinth went through some years, won some state championships, had some historically really good teams through there. I think in our program as we've progressed, I think getting over that sticker shock when we would show up, and I've talked about that previous years, when we'd go out there and we would see Corinth, it just something came over us. We didn't compete at the level we needed to. Then we got over that hurdle. We started beating them. We've been consistent beating them. So it's not that we go there expecting to lose anymore, and that was a huge step in our program. Now this year, 2 good teams. We gotta have to play well. It's a game I think we can certainly win, but we got to go play. And it's a challenge for our guys. It's a challenge for Corinth. And Dye does a good job, and they're talented. So it's gonna be, like I said, it's gonna be fun.
We played them every year since 1985. New Albany's won 18, Corinth's won 22. The last 10 games, Corinth leads 6 games to 4. The last 5 games, New Albany's 4-1 against Corinth.
I think that right there, that kind of speaks to the progression of our team and our program. From a 10-year look to a 5-year look. So we certainly want to keep that going in our direction.
And they've moved from 5A to 4A, so
Right.
this is their first year to compete in the 4A in a long time. They have 2 losses on the year. The first game of the season, they played New Hope. They got beat 41-33, and they also lost to Pontotoc 17-14 down at Pontotoc's place.
I think the first thing, if you watch those 2 games, which I haven't, I know you have, they're physical battles. Both of those teams are running the football downhill, and it gives them some trouble. So I think you can expect to see us do the same thing. We're going to challenge them up front. We've talked all week to our offense and our defense about the more physical team's going to win Thursday night. We've talked to our defense, about 11 guys flying to the football, wrapping up and playing physical. So they've heard physical over and over again. And we're certainly capable of being a physical football team, and that's what we want day one when we come out there to football practice. You've got to play this game a little different than you play some other sports. Your mindset's got to be there. And that's something our guys can do. We're excited about that. There was a few years ago we played Ripley here when they were undefeated. We came out and we were just the more physical football team. That's what we've got to do Thursday night. We've got to come out ready to hit, ready to bash our head against theirs, win the line of scrimmage, wrap up, get them on the ground. They've got some talented players, but they can be tackled, and we've got some talented players as well.
Yeah, their wins on the season, they beat Itawamba 38-21. They beat Houston 52-20. South Pontotoc 63-0. North Pontotoc 52-6. Tishomingo County 56-0. And they're coming off a win over Amory of 41-17. They're averaging 43.6 points per game. Rushing yards of 325 yards per game, only 47 yards passing per game with a total of 369 yards per game. But in comparison, Bulldogs averaging 43.6 points per game. Rushing yards 167 yards per game, passing 244 for 411 yards per game. So still pretty
close, but a little differences in there too, right?
That's right.
I think, for their offense, they're running a double wing and a wing T style offense. It starts with running the football. They're going to run buck. They're going to run lead. They're going to try to get number 1 the ball as many times as they possibly can. I think last year he was the 5A 100-meter champion as well as the state powerlifter lifting champion. So a tremendous athlete. Crump, he's done some really good things this season. We've got to disrupt that on our defensive line. We'll have 5 guys up there, some guys that are capable of causing trouble for them, and then we've got to have some guys that we focus on wrapping up. A lot of what he did against Tisch County was go to one side. They did a good job stopping it at first, and then he would revert and go back to the other side. He's got good speed. We've got to. That's where those 11 guys flying the football come into play. But first and foremost, stop the run. They can throw it. It's not what they do. You said 40 yards average in a week. Off the run, they're going to throw a waggle pass. We've got to make sure we've got it covered. There are some keys in that our guys can see and know and try to predict it coming or disrupt it. And so Coach Murphy and those guys, those defensive coaches, have done a tremendous job this week, I think, preparing for our guys. They've bought in. Weather's not been great, but they've been locked in.
Mm-hmm.
We practiced on the game field yesterday where it was dry and could get some lines, and they did a good job. So I think our guys are excited about it, and of course we are too.
Yeah. You mentioned Crump, number one, the running back. He has 102 carries for 1,436 yards, 24 touchdowns. He's a 5'11", 208-pound running back, but he also plays middle linebacker as well. So.
Well, he's out there. He's going to be out there a lot. We've talked to our guards about how you're going to get a lot of opportunities to hit number one every time he's on the field. So and that's part of football, right?
Yeah.
He's a good enough athlete to play both ways. So he's going to get tired. So. And it's not just him. They've got a lot of guys playing both ways.
Yeah.
Number 7 will be out there on both sides. 7 used to play quarterback for him. Now he's kind of a fullback wing guy. And so you're going to get opportunities to hit him too.
Yeah.
Football is a physical sport. I like Sam Morton hitting number 1 a whole lot. So that's what he's got coming Thursday night.
Quarterback number 17, he's a freshman.
Yep. 7, like I said, 7 was the quarterback.
Right.
They moved him to wing. 17 comes in, so let's give that kid a lot of credit. He came in, does a really good job of running their offense, and obviously those guys have a lot of faith in him. Moves the ball well and throws it well. Maybe not as accurate as you'd like for him to be, but throws a good deep ball and runs that offense very effectively.
Yeah, you mentioned number 7. He's a junior. He's got 35 carries for 366 yards and 6 touchdowns on the season. Only 2 receptions for 8 yards, so kind of unusual there for that. Another guy that's running the ball is number 8. He's a sophomore. He's got 49 carries for 337 yards as well.
And 8 will play some corner, and 7 plays safety. So all those guys, the majority of their skill guys go both ways. I'm not sure if that's a depth issue or just keeping the best kids out there. But they're certainly going to be on the field a lot. And a physical football game can tax you for sure. So we'll see how those guys hold up.
Their leading wide receiver has 5 catches for 198 yards. So we do that at pretty much in a week's time. So anyway,
it's just different styles of offense. We're going to run a spread, but I like to think we're multiple because we can get in 2 tight end sets. We can get a tight end H set. We can just get an H set. Different things that whatever we're needing to do. Can be problematic for a defense. So, I'm anxious to see if we can stop option 1 and 2 for them, what option 3 is for them. So I hope we get to that point.
Yeah, their defense is only giving up about 15 points a game. I mentioned Crump. He's their middle linebacker. He's got 47 tackles, and he's leading the team. They also have a nose guard, number 0, that got 45 tackles.
Yeah, 0 is a really good player. I think, I'll be honest, I think it starts with him up there.
Mm-hmm.
He just does a really good job flying the football, causing havoc. Of course, number 1 is there behind you, too, and just he roams the field. He's so fast that he gets to get in on a lot of plays. So if you're running right at that, sometimes it negates some of that. So expect to see some of that.
Defensive back, number 14, he's got 45 tackles on the season for them. A couple of more linebackers, number 6 and number 44, with 41 and 27 tackles on them.
Yeah, 14, he's actually a defensive end that does a good job for him. 3 is a DB for him that does a good job. Who was the other one you said?
6.
6 is a linebacker, does a good job. They're sound on defense. So there's we've got number 2 on one side that was an Ole Miss kid. That's number 1's brother. As another Crump guy. He's a better corner than they've got on the other side. It's like you said, when they've got one, what does the other one look like? 8 and 20 are the other cornerback. Not as physically of a presence. They're shorter, smaller kids than number 2. But good players. Like I said, if we were a bad football team, you'd be really worried about it. The fortunate thing for us is we feel like we're good. We're one of the best offenses in 4A, and we're going to get to go see what we can do against those guys.
Their kicker, number 18, is a sophomore. He does a pretty good job getting the ball into
Yeah.
the end zone as well.
Kicker's phenomenal. I mean, he does a great job. There's going to be two of the best kickers in Mississippi that'll be at this football game. We certainly love ours. Grayson Alexander does a great job. Theirs, he not only puts it in the end zone, sometimes puts it at the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
So it's tremendous leg that young man's got, and is a big attribute for their team.
Good luck Friday, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait. This is what you want to be playing for late in the year like this. Chance to win the division. We transitioned to put some of those signs up there for all the division championships. We've talked a lot about, hey, we want to put another sign up. So we want to go in there and play a physical brand of football and play our game and just let our community be something that they're proud of, but also just play to our potential because we think we've still got some in the tank and can get even better.
Remind everybody the game is Thursday night at Corinth. Kickoff 7 o'clock.
Yep, Thursday at Corinth. Kickoff's at 7. Just like I said, excited about it. We'll be on the turf. It's been wet. It won't matter tomorrow night because they give that turf, and there can be a lot of New Albany people in Corinth.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. This is Inside New Albany Football with head coach Cody Stubblefield. We'll have a starting lineup starting 10 minutes before kickoff. We'll see you then. Go Dogs. All right, New Albany fans, we're doing a little round table here. We do this once a week with some players. We got Jackson Cheese Howard here, senior defensive lineman for us, and plugs in a little tight end, a little tackle for some specialty. We've got Parker Skinner here, another senior, our inside linebacker, an H-back, fullback, and our two-point conversion specialist. So glad to have y'all on, guys. I've really enjoyed watching y'all. Got to start as freshmen, started getting in the game as a freshman. Let's talk about that a little bit before we get on to your career. That's tough. Do you remember that moment when you were starting to get in as a freshman, starting to sprinkle in? What was that like, that speed of the game and getting to do that?
Nervous. It's way different between 8th grade and coming up there and playing with 19, 18-year-olds.
It is.
Yeah, definitely for sure. I remember coming up here during the spring and going against Milton and stuff like that. Yeah, that was pretty,
I remember my first game as a freshman. I was so nervous. I think I threw up for the game. And of course, I'm at safety and we was running one high. So I was kind of like just the last man resort kind of thing, cover 3, one high. And the first play of the game, he done broke past the linebackers. And I got to make the tackle. If I don't make the tackle, he scores. And this is my first play ever. And I couldn't breathe. And I swear I felt like that guy was 10 foot tall, 350 pounds. And I hit him, y'all can't see it, but I hit him below the ankle and clipped him and got my first tackle.
My freshman year, I did the same thing. Isaac Smith, he came out free at me, and I was the only person. And I ankle bit him.
So y'all got sprinkled in as freshmen. That's rare, especially a good program like this with the talent we have and the size we have and the schedule we play. A lot of kids. You go to a small town as fresh, not that big a deal. But when you play in the schedule we play, you play in some of the best football in North Mississippi and Mississippi. It's rough, and then started getting in there and earned your way as sophomore starting, and I've been starting ever since. It's been a big key factor, both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. So got a big game this week against Corinth. Y'all know what's at stake here. A division title is right there in front of us, and a good playoff route. What are y'all excited about this game? Excited about for this game?
Really just competition, I get to really go out there and just have fun. I really just need, just play hard,
About the only thing.
Yeah.
Play hard. We played South Pontotoc and Tish. They've been okay, but I'm about ready for some better competition this week.
It's going to be a big game for you two because of the offense they run. And, they average around 40 yards passing a game, maybe throw it 3 times a game, if that. So it's going to be a lot in that box. If we can keep Hardy and Hicks bringing the run back into y'all to the box, it's going to be a big game for y'all with a lot of physicality. And there ain't no pass plays where you might get one of those Skinner's covered just looking around. It's going to be getting in there nitty gritty. Let's talk about that a little bit in that offense they run.
They like handing the ball to 1 and 3. I think it's 3, but number 1 is their playmaker, and that's what they're going to go to most of the time.
Bless you. I got another thing. How does Cheese stay so relaxed and have so much fun during the game? Talk about that a little bit, Skinner. Talk about Cheese during the game. I'd like to know what he says at the line of scrimmage. I want to know, because I know you look at them dudes across the line of scrimmage and you say a lot to them. What is some of the stuff that you tell them?
I usually don't talk first, you know. There ain't no point of going out there and just talking. Usually when somebody get me started, when they say something to me, is really when I get started.
Cheese ain't dancing, he ain't being cheese.
I agree with that. We enjoy that. Let's talk about this career. What would you say New Albany's done for you, and just, you know, the kids younger than you? What can you tell them from that aspect?
Just stick with it. You know, there's sometimes where I feel like I really didn't want to, you know, keep going with this, but like I stuck with it. And it's really just stick with it. It's fun at the end of the day.
Yeah, it is. The practice might not be the greatest, but there's nothing like this week, Thursday night, but there's nothing like that Friday night when you go out of that tunnel and that music's blaring and you get to legally hit people, which I love that about football. I love that I got to go on the field and hit people for free, so that was nice. What about you, Skinner? Anything about this program that, you know, has helped you in life?
It's just so I moved here in 7th grade and I've been playing football, baseball, stuff. Since here, it's been just a little bit better and made me a better person. Just like you said a while ago, practice ain't no count. It sucks sometimes, but when you walk out on Friday night, it's worth it.
Let's go a little more in the deep dive of defense. What we got to do to win this week defensively?
I just feel like we got to get to the ball. It's just what the person in front of you.
It's hard to tackle number one, so we're gonna have to all rally to the ball.
I think this is a big game where you know, early in the game, you show your physicality as a team. You show Corinth that we're going to be more physical than you. We're going to be meaner than you. We're going to be more physical than you. You know, this is it's one of those mental games that you have to do that. You know, you, and as a team, as a collective, you know, you as leaders, I would say, have got to get everybody to buy into that. That you know, this is a game we got to be physical. We've got and they got to know how physical we are till the end of the game. And leave it there, because I mean, no matter which route we go in the playoffs, we want to be first. But that first place, man, it sets up your playoff schedule a lot better for a deep run. So it's a big game. This is what you want. You know, Corinth and coaching baseball is our last division game of the year, and I would love to be in the football shoes right now. You know, it's still there in front of me. You know, it's right there, and it's just time to take it. One last skit we do every week. We do a pick to click, and it's players of the game. We'll do an offense player game and a defense player game. Let you guys pick it. Y'all want to pick which one you want, offense or defense?
More like explain that.
So you're gonna pick. You're gonna pick a player. Tell me what their yardage is gonna be. How many touchdowns they're gonna have?
From the offense?
Yeah.
You can do. It don't matter.
From their team or our team?
Our team.
Our team? Okay.
Like player of the game. Who's gonna be player?
You doing defense or offense?
I'm doing offense.
All right. You got defense. All right. I'm gonna do special teams. Okay. Big thing. A lot of people might notice. You got two highly recruited kickers this week playing. Corinth's got a kicker that's really a high recruit. Also, he's a sophomore. And then Grayson Alexander. Everybody knows about Grayson, the 4-star kicker. So two big foots tonight. You should see a lot of touchbacks. Field goals are available to kick up to 50 yards. So it's going to be a fun night on the kicker. I think Grayson's going to have a better night, more touchbacks, and more successful PATs, because I don't think we're going to be kicking any field goals.
I'm going to go Jaden Foster.
All right.
I'm going to say 10 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss.
10 tackles. And that would, that interior line doing that, it's going you, Cheese, Jaden Foster is a big week for y'all. If we could get a bunch of tackles on that D-line this week, not let go, was it number 1?
Crump.
Get an open field, I think we'll win the ball game. All right, offense.
I'm gonna go Braden. I got 2 touchdowns.
Shettles, 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns.
How many yards?
150.
150 yards. Braden Shettles, 2 touchdowns. Well, that's it, guys. We're almost at kickoff. We're going to bring it down the field to David Good with your starting lineup, and let's beat Corinth. Go Dogs.